Welcome to Life Camera Acting. This is the podcast that shines a light on the business of acting. I'm your host, Scott Akis. My friends and I will chat about the good and the bad of working as an actor, as well as how to deal with the challenges of life while working in a career that, it just refuses to follow any standard business practices from other industries. Life for us can be quirky, equal parts rejection and triumph, but it really is what we make it. And perhaps by hearing some of the stories of my friends and myself, it might give you a chance to figure out other options that you can use in the challenges of your life and other ways to create those triumphs that you're looking for. So, today, my special guest is Reynada Robinson.
Hello.
Ray, spelled R-E-Y. I did that right, right?
You did that right.
Ray currently studies under Nancy Chartier. Did I say that right?
You did.
How about it? Now, her voiceover work and commercial clients include Coca-Cola, TJ Maxx, Dunkin' and Baskin-Robbins brands, and Home Depot. And her most recent roles include Babs Stevens on the network series Cruel Summer, which is a co-starring role, which can be seen on Freeform or Hulu, and the role of Alyssa, also a co-starring role in the feature film Deadly Seduction, which can be seen on the Lifetime Movie Network. Yeah, you can also find out more about Ray at www.raytheactress.com. And again, that's Ray with the R-E-Y.
That's right, Ray of Sunshine, R-E-Y, or Ray the Actress on Instagram.
There you go, Ray the Actress on Instagram.
Yeah.
Now, I've had the privilege of working with Ray in a couple different ways, and I can say with some confidence that she is one of the brightest talents coming out of Dallas-Fort Worth right now. I'm very interested to see where this conversation goes.
Well, I'm verklempt with the accolades, Scott.
Well, welcome to Life Camera Acting.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm super happy to be here. This is such a cool thing that you have going here.
It's fun stuff to me. I love doing this. And, for me, when we're talking some things that you have done or gone through, that might help somebody who's in that situation right now.
Yeah.
And vice versa. If you have questions for me, feel free to inquire. We'll see what happens. So today, Ray and I are going to be drinking some bourbon because that's how I do.
Now, he made me get an ice cube, but I'm straight up. I got a little on my chest.
We both going with the Death Star ice balls today.
I'll take it.
All
so
right.
I like a good whiskey. I like a good bourbon,
Well, this one is Walking Stick Kentucky Bourbon brand.
This one. I'm excited to
This
try.
is a new one for me too, actually. Yeah. This is a gift. It was a gift. It's going pretty quickly.
Yeah, well.
And I think it's delicious.
It smells great.
We'll see how you like it.
Taste it. Yeah.
Cheers.
Shall we cheers?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, that's how to get it started.
Oh, that's nice.
Right?
That's very simple.
Right?
Yeah, I like it.
So we can sip on that as much as you want.
Okay.
All right. So let's get the ball rolling. My first question to you is: you've been acting since you were a kid,
Kind of.
right?
Yeah.
Now, back then and moving forward, did you always know this is what you wanted to do as a profession, or did you pursue some other professions in there and then change it back to this?
A lot of other professions, and back then.
Like when you were a kid.
Yeah. Okay. Watch your mouth, Scott.
I mean, a kid. You still have that youthfulness.
Of course, darling. You do too. Yeah, so when I was a kid, I really just wanted to be my big sister. She was a singer. She was in every single talent show ever. And she sang I'm a preacher's kid, so singing at church was singing for both.
Yeah, of course.
Singing is actually my first love.
Okay.
And I just wanted to be her. She was naturally good at what she did, and I saw how she could command a stage, like without a band, without anything. She should just stand there by herself. So I was chasing that.
Yeah.
And through that, I became a singer myself. So
okay.
I just knew I wanted to be on. So we'd go to the grocery store, and the lady would be clean up on aisle 4. I wanted to be that lady. You know what I mean? When I was a kid,
back then? Like 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
It was a long time.
Before closed captioning, there were sign language interpreters in the news. I wanted to be her. I just wanted to be out there, whatever it was.
There is some magic to being able to affect other people.
Yes.
And yeah, that's what we do, but you were looking at it from any way that you could find that.
Because I came from parents who were, my dad's a chemical engineer and a preacher. My mom's a registered nurse, and she's where I got all my creativity from. But, you know, I came from you go to school, you get your degree, you're a lawyer, you're a whatever you're going to be.
Right.
So, and living in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that career path, it's different now. You know, there wasn't social media. The internet wasn't. I don't even think we had the internet.
You had 7 years ago. There was internet.
I remember college being internet for me. So we didn't have all those avenues of getting on.
No, it's easier to be seen nowadays, but it's not always quality.
No.
You know, it's not always, you get seen, but it's not always with quality.
Yeah, and it's real watered down now. You remember there were stars, real untouchable, you didn't know anything about their lives, stars, and now it's like anybody can be a star. Just, you got a YouTube channel, you're good. You got, Instagram and you're funny enough, or you're whatever your talent is, anybody can do it.
I feel that, and I don't have any hatred and no ill will towards
absolutely not. I think it's great.
Influencers.
Yeah.
It's amazing that people are able to do that, and that's a job, by the way.
It is. It's hard work.
I think you're right about the watered down aspect of it. I know for me, learning to act, wanting to pursue this, wanting to really, really be at the top of the game with this, I had to go into learning mode. Yeah. Right? I really had to figure out this industry.
Yeah, and you have come such a long way. I mean, your talent is leaps and bounds, and you are good, baby.
Thank you.
Yes. But, when we first met, there was you had that corporate America side to you, which I very much could see.
For those of you who don't know, what Ray is referring to is she was the first real professional actor to give me feedback. And it was brutal.
Oh, I didn't mean to be brutal.
It was brutal, but I needed to hear it because I thought I was doing something different than I was.
Yeah.
And I heard it and I was like, I was never mad at you, but I was like, damn.
Well, we had
that hurts. I thought I was doing such a good job.
And you were, but you wanted to take it to the next level. Yep. And I saw your passion and I saw your dedication. And that's the difference. That I have had several people that I've coached. I can do this. I want to do this. But you don't. I know the difference between somebody who really wants to do and has to do it. Because for us, it's not that looks cool to do. And it's not, it's a need. It's air.
Right.
Like we breathe it.
Right.
It's not something we can just sit down and let go. Or put down and not touch. And I saw that in you. I saw that this was...
Yeah, I wanted it at a different level than a meme or a TikTok dance or something. I wanted to take this, and I still do want to take this as far as we can go with this, right?
I love that. I love to vibe with like-minded people because we aren't normal.
No question. Yeah, no doubt. There's no normalcy between us right here on this set. There's nobody normal right now.
We are not normal people. I mean, I have been in corporate America. I have come back. I mean, it's back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And a lot of these skills that we have translate to a lot of the jobs that I've done, pharmaceutical sales. I've been a consultant, well-being consultant for different companies. All of those skills translate because it's all about selling yourself, right?
Right.
And having people buy into you before they can buy into any product you sell for a commercial or any movie role or anything like that. You have to be somebody people want to listen to, work with, watch, pay attention to. There has to be something magnetic about you, even if it's quiet.
So how do you find that I know how you find that in your acting world. I mean, I've seen you work.
And I'm still discovering.
And you're still discovering.
It's a journey, right? You never get there.
The top of the mountain doesn't exist. It only looks like it exists.
Right,
yes.
right.
You get to the top and you see a few feet away is a whole nother incline.
Absolutely.
But like when you pop out of this creative world and you jump into the corporate world, how do you find that spark, that relational, people want to listen to you type of a thing?
Money. So
okay.
Joking. But I mean that corporate America is a different beast, and thankfully I'm well-rounded enough. I did have the parents that I had, and while they encouraged me, oh my gosh, they encouraged me so much. They were at everything my sister and I did, and my brother. They were all artists of some sort. I mean, every event, every function, every basketball game, every track meet, they were there. They were very supportive. So I had the benefit of that, but I also had the benefit of watching their work ethic. I mean, my dad could be, his leg could be falling off. He's going to work. So I think having the benefit of having that, and then having this other being allowed to have this other creative, silly side, those things kind of marry to. You're asking how I find it. It's just there.
Yeah, no, I get it. I hear what you're saying because
you're the same way.
My story is very similar.
Yeah.
My dad, I watched him. I was in awe of him rising through the ranks at his corporate job. He worked for American Airlines, and he just went up and up and up. And I just watched this, and every so often I'd get a glimpse inside because I'd go to work with him, or I'd be at the airport and people would recognize him, and everybody respected this man. I saw the behind the scenes work, but then he's an artist. He did comic book. Newspaper comics.
Okay.
He did. He's a painter. He's a sketch artist, and he's very much an artist, and that's where his real self lies.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that. I thought his real self was a corporate self.
No, it's what they had to do.
Right.
So speaking to that, my dad is an author. 5 books now.
Wow.
Right? And I write as well. I'm a published author as well. So, I mean,
give me some on that.
Come on now.
Yeah.
When I started to realize all those commonalities, it was a really deep and profound excitement I had for that. Because me and my dad are he loves me to death. I'm daddy's girl, but we're so different.
Yeah. And
to know that this is where I get this from, or this is, that the origin story of what, because I just felt like my sister and I are the black sheep of the family. We wanted to, we're off, I'm a singer-songwriter. That was the first thing I did. So I've got published songs out. I've got published stories out, short stories. I've got, I have all this in me. I mean, you see my energy. I've got all this in me. I just got to get it out. It's like this sponge I got to wring out.
It's funny that you say, that it's nice to figure out where that stuff comes from. I do a lot of silent laughing to myself when I'm around people. It's just my own. I'm not laughing at them, except in my own head a little bit. And the one thing that always gets me is when somebody is in their 20s, maybe even late 20s, and they've got that career position that they've been chasing or that they're happy to have, and they feel like they found themselves. Mm-hmm. And I just laugh. Because I'm not very much older, but I'm a little older than that. And
just a couple.
I've seen the cycles of that, right? Yeah. You find yourself in life more than once.
Yeah.
You evolve, but the world keeps evolving, right?
Yes. Look at this AI stuff. Look at our strike right now. This is crazy. So I just read an article yesterday that was talking about the future of acting and how AI is going to be hugely instrumental in that. This article was, I don't know if it was these were factual things or if this was just a supposition, but it was talking about how there will be these studios, AI studios, that hire just a set amount of actors, 10, 15 actors, and then who are very versatile, and they'll be able to just put different skins on these people. So let's say the Barbie movie is out right now, but they want to put that out in Asia. Right. So they'll make that look like it's in Asia with Asian people, and whatever they're going to change about it. If they want it to be all female cast, they can change it to. They can make a male a female. They can make a female a male. Make a black or white or whatever. Right. Whatever it is they need it to be, and that's scary to me. because that's going to limit a lot. What do you think about?
I'm on the fence with AI. I think we need to have, as artists, whether it be writers, actors, directors, people need to have some protections that allow them to have a meaningful impact and a meaningful job.
Yeah.
Right? This is a creative world, and and you can't just simply take a bunch of people who know how to suppose AI prompts properly and that be your creatives.
We're saying that, Scott, but look, okay.
I know.
The internet changed the world.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing that I feel like this is a lot alike.
Okay.
When CGI got real. Yeah. Now I'm not talking about the original Star Wars where everybody was blown away because they'd never seen anything like that. I'm talking about Alita. You remember that movie, Alita?
I have not.
So there's a movie came out. I don't know. Do you remember this movie, Cooper? Alita Battle Angel came out. I want to say it's been about 10 years.
No, I've not even heard
maybe
of this.
Maybe it's 12 years. And the main character is no AI. The main character is CGI with a voiceover.
Wow.
Like the main character is CGI. It's not. Wow. It's like the Hulk or somebody like that, but there's no alter ego where that person becomes a human actor. Right. It's all CGI. So all the other actors are acting around this. And I watched that and I went, you can actually do a whole movie like that. And then video games tell a story.
They're so real.
And they're so real. So
real.
Even if it's not AI, there is the capabilities out there already to do some of this. And I think we'll see some people push the envelope and try to eliminate actors, get rid of the paying of actors. But I don't think that will stick. It'll just be a few people that push that envelope. Be novel? Yeah, I think that having real actors will always be a thing, but real actors will have to learn to work with AI.
We're going to have to. I don't think there's any way around it. And not just actors. I mean, every single industry, right?
All of us. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be so many jobs that are eliminated by AI. Yeah. And I'm glad that our union is on the front end of protecting us because there's going to be a lot of industries that are hit that don't have a union. Yeah. They're not unionized. But I don't know. I mean, you can't deny it. You can't say, I wish it wasn't here. It's here.
It's here. It's evolving at such a rapid pace. It's not going anywhere. It is about to be just anchored in life, just like the internet. You can't live without the internet.
Well, there's a TikTok guy who, so in video games, you've got your NPCs. I don't know if you know this vernacular. They're the characters that are not another live player. They just live in the game, right? Yeah. And their speech and their actions are dictated a lot of times by an algorithm. What have you done in the game? Yeah. And then you meet them, and now what do they do in response? It's all repetitive, right? It's like if you play the game two or three times, you might get different reactions from one of those NPCs, but there's a limited subset of things that they can possibly do or say because it's all pre-programmed, right? There's a guy on TikTok who posts videos right now where he took a game and he added AI to those characters. They remember what he said in the past. They interact with each other. They remember their interactions with each other. They remember all of it, and they respond in real time. This is our world now. It's not.
That's scary.
There's not any. Yeah, I mean, I think there'll be a day when we don't know if we're dealing with an AI or a person, and we'll probably assume it's an AI.
We kind of have that now with the deep fake, and that is crazy.
I'm sitting here right now wondering if you're real.
I am 1,000. I got the aches and pains to prove it, baby. I'm real. Wow. No, that is super scary to me.
That's the direction we're headed.
I saw, have you seen the latest Harrison Ford Raiders? Is it Raiders?
I didn't see it, but I'm looking forward to checking that out.
A great part of the movie, he's young.
Yeah.
And he said that they mapped out his face, and it's actually him doing. It's not CGI. It's not them taking parts of his old movies. It's actually him in real time doing. They just had whatever mapping equipment
like
on
a
him.
Snapchat filter.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. They made young him into a Snapchat
Yes.
filter that they ran over the whole movie.
Harrison Ford is 81 years old. There is no way he's doing everything.
He's
he was
actually
doing.
one of my professional heroes.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
I want to be doing action movies
Me too.
when I'm 81 years old. Come
Me
on.
too. Yeah.
I mean,
I'd like to do an action movie. I haven't gotten any. The furthest I've gotten is I've gotten knocked out in a couple of movies.
all right. Find a director and a writer. Let's just make it happen
I'm
ourselves.
a writer.
I'm a writer too.
Are you really?
Yes.
I'd love to read some of what you have.
Well, I'm a published author as well as you.
Okay. Well, okay, modesty.
Yeah, I'll talk about it when the time's right.
Okay.
You know?
Well, people need to know inquiring minds.
I'm actually writing a movie right now that might not ever get made, but that's just the reality of it because this movie is going to require a huge budget.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just tell you, it's called Splotches.
Okay.
And basically, huge chunks of the world, the globe, the Earth, disappear, but in like what would be like an ink
Don't tell
drop.
it.
That's it. The story's so much more than that.
Okay.
But like if you just drop ink on paper and it made this splotch shape.
Okay. Those places disappear.
Yeah, even in the ocean, it just goes away, and the ocean stays, but there's this hole now.
What happens in the hole?
Oh, I can't tell you
Oh,
that.
dang it. Now you got me invested.
Off air.
Off air. Okay. I'm going to hold you to that. I think, though, independent films are going to make a huge impact now. I just wrapped a movie last night.
Nice.
About 3 o'clock this morning, I did. It's called Nowhere Fast. I'm plugging it.
You should.
Yeah.
Do your do, girl.
Yeah, I'm excited about. But those are the meatiest roles I get when it's an independent film, when it's something, not some big studio budget. I've done big studio budget movies. I've got a movie coming out.
Did you do a movie with Tyler Perry?
I did a movie with Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx,
Alan Ruck, Journey Smollett, and Tommy Lee Jones.
Nice.
What?
Hey, that's the way they should be reacting to working with you.
And I shot that movie 2 years ago, and I literally just saw this week that it's about to come out.
Oh, I can't wait.
So I can't either, but I can't pub it.
Don't pub it.
Yeah.
But when all this is over and it comes out, or when it comes out, it just comes out, you are going to have to set up the movie screening with your friends.
You think I'm not?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Now, let's be clear. My role is all of 7 minutes, if it all made the cut. But I'm in it.
Hey, I've been in some things, and my role's all of 7 seconds. So let's go.
Commercial world, hello. Yeah.
I'm talking like TV world, 7 seconds. There I was.
But you got paid for that 7 seconds.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it's same with commercials. I've done, where are we, in July? I've done 8 commercials this year.
Wow.
I only think 2 of them ever made it out
they don't
so far.
all come out.
Yeah. I
and
got paid.
Yeah. I mean, that's what people don't understand about this industry. It's not all glitz and glamour. It's a lot of hurry up and wait. Your project may not ever be seen.
Right.
I mean, it could just get scrapped.
And you can be the best actor in the world and go a year between gigs.
Oh, my gosh. So you got 8 commercials this year. I've done 4. Which last year, I can't even count. You know, and it's been crazy slow this year.
Well,
Jeez.
2 years ago is when I met you, I think. Shout out Edward Winkler.
Hey,
we share an agent.
Yes.
Edward Winkler. And
at the Klutz Agency.
Yeah, at the Klutz Agency in Dallas.
They keep me hopping, baby.
That's good.
Yeah.
He put me in contact with you, and that's where I got my feedback from the very first time. But his exact words were, I'm going to put you in contact with somebody who is right now booking everything. She books everything right now. So she's the person you want to talk to. And when you took my call, I was like, the person who books everything is actually just took my call and is talking to me.
But you see, we share the same struggles, right? I was booking everything at that moment.
Right.
And I'm not doing anything differently, just demographics change, what people want to see changes.
Casting director. Well, oftentimes not even the casting director. It's the producer or the agency
right.
or
the casting director doesn't cast you.
Right.
But they do have an influence on you getting seen.
Yeah, they narrow the field for the people that make the choice.
Absolutely. So I always tell everybody this, it's an honor just to be invited to the room.
Yep.
You know, you got an audition, that's winning.
Amen, sister.
That's winning.
For
because
real.
You might not be right for that project, but the CD says, hey, her tape was good. I'm going to invite her back. Mm-hmm. You know, you might get invited back for the next 40 projects and not book, but you're always invited back, and that means you have a chance.
Well, and that also means maybe you caught the attention of the casting director, and you didn't get this one, but they know who you are now.
They know who you are.
And next time they're thinking about a role that they need to fill, they're like, wait, let's get Ray in here too. Sometimes I think, okay, this is cynical. So casting directors, when you come on this show, you can clear the air and fix this if I'm wrong. But I think that sometimes casting directors will put somebody like you or I in, knowing that we won't get the role, but we raise the bar so that it justifies the other people that they put in.
Agreed, because their job is to bring the best talent, right? It's not about I think this part, you know, it's about bringing the best talent and the best work that they can, and that's what they present to people. So you might not get it, and you might not be right for their project, but then that director sees you and thinks, hey, that was or I've seen her before. Let me see her again, or what? I mean, you remain top of mind, and so that's why I rarely turn down an audition. I've turned down more here recently, just because I'm tired. I'm tired, but
you've been eating your vegetables.
Listen, I stay in front of the camera. It is an everyday thing for me.
That's good.
But you have to balance.
Yep.
You have to balance. You know, when you look at certain projects, and there are things that I've taken that I'm like, why did I? Perfect example. There was something I booked, and then I was booked on that one, so I couldn't do the other one I booked that I wanted. So it's really about working smarter, not harder. And I had to give myself grace in that. Yes, it's a hustle, but there's also busy work.
Well, I did. This is the end of a week when we're shooting this. I did 4 auditions this week, and 3 of them will shoot on the same exact day.
Always happens like that.
I mean, there's a good chance I get none of it.
Yeah.
But if 2 people said, "Hey, he's the guy," I have to make a choice now, and somebody might not appreciate me saying no.
Yeah, but they just move.
It's the reality.
No, that's the thing.
Oh, they move it along.
Yeah, they just move on.
Yeah.
And you can't, and that also makes you valuable. Oh man, we didn't get him. We didn't get that one. Think of that scarcity, right?
Yes.
Everybody can't have access to you.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So I've had that happen a couple of times, more than a couple of times, and it's not always a good, because this thing might be, you know, might pay twice as much, might be SAG, and this one's just, oh man, a buyout, whatever. But you remain professional, and you do what you signed up to do.
It's important to note there is a strike going on, and the strike doesn't affect commercials.
Correct.
So we're sitting here talking about all this work that we're trying to do or that we're auditioning for. We're not trying to cross lines.
Not at all.
I mean, that is a big thing for me, but it's a whole different contract.
Yeah.
And so with the commercials, we have 100% green light to continue doing those. Same thing with certain independent films and things like that.
And small budgets too. And SAG has put out a pretty comprehensive list of what we can and cannot do.
So I want to make sure everybody knows. I don't want people getting mad listening to us talk about this stuff.
No, absolutely. I stand in solidarity. I'm SAG eligible. Texas is a right to work state, so we don't really have to go SAG unless the project requires it. And it's, you know, it's kind of expensive to do so. And if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. And if you don't have to, I've been advised, if you don't have to,
Well, I'm SAG-L. Back in 2020, I was actually cast in 2 different movies. And the folks in charge were going to help me make my arrangements for SAG. Right? Because they knew I was SAG-L, but I I wasn't, because I live in Texas.
Yeah.
And so they were going to help me get everything straight.
Oh, nice.
So that's always, a possibility too, if they want you if they want you enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And if it came down to it, if they're like, you can't do this problem, well, I'm joining. There's no question.
Well, I think you and I should also join the Writers Guild.
You think so?
Yeah, we should get some work done.
Okay, I'm with it. I mean, I've got a ton of half-written ideas, of all the way written ideas. Short form is my my sweet spot. I don't have the attention span for long form, but any of my things can be stretched out, with a collaboration or something like that. So
right. Well, and I mean, I think short form is important. You look at you look at the Tubies and the Rokus and the Voodoos and all these stations. Even before the strike, they were looking for content.
They need content,
and they have channels for short form.
And this might be our moment, right? While this strike is happening, while SAG Productions aren't able to, this might be our moment you can still make content. You can still, create.
Well,
that is not off the table.
A collab.
Yeah, I am too. I'm always down for a collab. I think you're super talented.
We also have our man Cooper, who's the producer here.
Hey, Coop.
We pull Cooper into our projects too because he's got some talent.
I love it. We know so many, our network, right? We know so many talented people. I wanted to hit on something you said earlier about commercials and SAG contracts. Dallas is hugely a commercial market. I get people hitting me up all the time about, well, how are you booking this movie? I got agents everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's not just here. Mm-hmm. But here in Dallas, you're going to get commercials.
Right.
That's what you're going to get. That's what's here.
It's what's here. I mean, I don't know of another city that has as many corporate headquarters. I mean, I just don't. And I know a lot of cities that have a lot of corporate headquarters.
Right.
But I think if Dallas isn't number one, it's way up there.
It's way up there. So if you are, if you're listening right now and, you've asked this question, how can I get, and you think you're going to have this illustrious film career, you can have it here, but you're going to have to get some additional agents out there working for you. You're going to have to have an LA agent. You're going to have a Southeast agent, Atlanta. It's not going to happen.
Chicago.
You have to broaden your horizons. You cannot think small. You got to think big picture.
Right.
And that's why I audition so much. I got so many agents, and they're all sending me stuff. And probably you too. Do you have multiple?
No. So, I was a corporate CEO type up until 2020.
That's so dope.
So then we got COVID and stuff. And I had been doing all my acting on the side, right? When I can, catch it as you can. I didn't have an agent, so I was doing it myself. I was never really getting paid a lot. There's a lot to it. And in 2020, I left the CEO position, and I was like, you know what? I need to figure out what I really. Here I am. At my age, rediscovering myself, like we talked about earlier, right? I need to figure out what I really want to do moving forward because things are changing, right?
They are. And if you don't have that in you, that will, that drive to reinvent yourself, because it does. It happens at least once a decade.
So I was able to do it and get into acting full time. Back then, I got my first agent. She was terrific. She was very hands-on as an agent. She was almost a manager to me. Summer Ayala.
Okay, I don't know.
And Summer, she was my very first agent. And she, there was one time I got an audition and it said, we really would like to see you riding a riding mower. I'm like, I don't. What? What? And so I called her up and she goes, all right, no worries. Tomorrow at 3:00, meet me at this address. And it was one of her friends who had a lot of property and several riding mowers, and she was there. My agent was there, and I did my audition.
Did you book it?
I didn't book it. This was pre-Ray. I hadn't talked to you yet.
I did not. Well, you made some huge advances, but
so I do have a question for you. So talking about agents. We're both with Klutz.
Yes.
How did you decide on your agent?
You know what? I was in classes, taking a couple of different teachers in Dallas. And, they all had this, well, if you're with me for a year, and then I'll recommend you. And I was like, I'm good now. So I just submitted. And that's what I mean when I say if you really want to do it, you're going to find a way to do it, right? It's not, well, can you hook me? No, I mean, there's value in that, knowing people and, hey, can you hook me up with this agent or that agent? But I don't do that anymore because I have referred people who have never turned in a tape.
Yeah.
And that burns me so because I work.
Right.
And if you don't have my work ethic, I'm not doing it. I'll give you the information. You can say I referred you, but or you know me, but I'm not physically referring you in most cases, unless I've seen that you are about it.
But you were referred to Klutz.
No, I wasn't.
Oh.
So I went on.
You just submitted.
I did an internet search of all of the agents in Dallas.
I love it.
And I had one commercial that I had done that I booked on my own that I did relatively almost free. And I put a little resume together with my theater work. I had some theater work on there. I didn't have a lot, but I had a headshot, one headshot, and I sent it in. And Eddie called me he emailed me back that same day. He was the first person to get back with me. And he set up a meeting that Friday, and I was signed that Friday, and that next week I was booking. So don't let anybody tell you what you're not ready for or what you can't do. Yeah, you can. If you think you can, yeah, you can.
And I know, I have a calibration about the Klutz agency. I know where you stand because you said Eddie. I know so many people that
Edward.
That will be like, well, did you talk to Edward? And I'm like, who's Edward?
What are you talking? But Christina, shout out Christina Martinez. She calls him Edward. Now Christina books.
Oh, I
her
know.
tail off.
I know.
Right? She's in everything.
She just did something with a horse.
Yeah, I know. Like 25 pictures of this horse on social media, but she is an amazing, amazing person.
Yes.
And the people who are working. Because you run into them all the time.
Absolutely.
Hey, did you get this audition? What did you do for this? We have that network. We have that camaraderie. And it's not there's a little competition, but it's not a competitive thing, It's I want to help you.
It's competition because we both want to be at the top of our game, and being at the top of your game doesn't guarantee you a job in this industry, but you want to be at the top of your game and get selected.
Right.
So that's where the competition is, but other than that, it's all love.
It's where opportunity meets experience, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready, right?
Yes.
But, if you notice, most of the not even top talent, most of the people who book,
right.
There's a diverse array of them. So there's, you've got yourself, you've got Ricky Martinez, you got Christina Martinez, you've got Casey Fullenwider.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So it's just a diverse array of people who we're consistent. I think that makes the difference. We're consistent. Yeah, people are saying you book. But I tape 20 times a week.
Correct.
I'm booking because it's a numbers game.
And guess what? I get out and I try to physically meet the casting directors.
Yeah.
I network.
Yes.
It's more than just submitting.
It is.
Like people remember you if you become a known quantity if you really care.
Yeah.
Right? If you are just going through the motions.
They know. It shows up on your
yes.
tape. It shows up in when you submit the tape. If the tape is due at 2:00 and you're submitting at 1:57, which I had to do yesterday. That's why I was so specific. But I've been working. I'm booked. Sometimes that happens. But are you consistently turning down auditions or not even checking a box saying yay or nay?
Right.
That's
just
a
leaving
thing.
it open.
Just leaving it open. Don't do that. Don't leave people hanging. It's a professionalism that comes across.
Well, here's me. Unless I legit have a conflict,
Mm-hmm.
I'm never turning down a job, right?
Not unless it's something that's like
moral.
$300 in perpetuity.
Yes.
I got one like that. Yes. Are you kidding?
I got one.
And travel too, and we won't pay travel.
Yep, I got one like that where it was There was part of the clause that was into perpetuity that they owned it, and there was another part that was 5 years, and it paid like $1,500, but I was like, for what you're really trying to rip somebody off.
No, that
here.
should be SAG in perpetuity. That should be a recurring check.
Yes.
Unless it's something large and you need it. I mean, I've done things in perpetuity before.
So the 5 years I think was for conflicts, like you can't work in the same industry
5
for
years.
5 years, but then the into perpetuity was your image.
That's
and
a
they were trying to pay $1,500.
That's a
it was
ridiculous
crazy.
ask.
And I don't turn down auditions, so I fired off a text to Eddie, and I said, "This seems ridiculous. I'm just checking it against your vibe because I'm not inclined to take this." And he agreed.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not. I turned down an audition for, it was a nun in a story about possession. I don't do that.
Right.
Like, if it's against your moral compass,
yes.
If it's against your financial compass, if you feel like you don't want to be bound for $5, that's a huge ask.
Exactly.
For $1,500, you can go, I don't know,
but
pay the street
unfortunately,
for that.
They know there's a lot of starving artists out there,
and somebody will do it.
$1,500 is a good money for the right now.
Right. Somebody will do it, but it doesn't mean it has to be you.
Correct. Because I'm sure somebody did it, and it wasn't me.
And the more you stand in solidarity against that type of thing, I've had, I got booked on, I won't say the name, very nice luxury car.
Okay.
Commercial. And, we got through everything, and I booked it on my own. And then they told me what the pay was. It was like $35 an hour.
Ooh.
I said, you shouldn't be paying anybody $35 an hour. I don't care what their experience level, but also check my resume. I didn't say it like that.
Oh, I wish you did.
No, I didn't. I was very nice. The
You're
salary is not
yes.
commensurate with my experience. I was professional about it, but I was very insulted because you saw my resume. That's what got me the job.
So you went through the entire audition.
I went through the audition.
Job,
I got the job. They're sending all this information.
And
where are you supposed to
be?
They never said anything about the pay. And also ask about the paid people. Like, don't be afraid to negotiate. Don't be afraid to speak up and know your value, And there's nothing wrong with making $35 an hour. People make $35 an hour.
It's actually a good
It's a
amount.
good rate.
But
it's not commensurate with what we do.
Well, and because we are not working we're working for free, maybe that 40 hours a week, but we're not working for pay for 40 hours a week.
And then think about the usage of that.
Yep.
That's your work over and over and over and over. And they paid you that one time, however much that was going to equal out. No, I don't think that's right.
People look at actors and think, well, you get paid well, and maybe if you just take one project and you look at it and you say, oh yeah, I can't deny it, I got paid well for that project. But we don't do projects every day.
No,
if
that were the case,
every week.
we
don't
wouldn't be
do projects
striking
every month sometimes. We wouldn't be striking because if you're Tom Cruise and you do a project, that could carry you for 5 years.
Yeah.
And in a very luxurious way.
But most of us, 97% of us are not Tom Cruise.
And 97% of us, we might make a good amount for a job, but we're still... I read an article that said the average professional full-time actor, right? And you think of what people think actors make. The average was $64,000 a year.
Now that's average.
That's average because
think
most
about
people
that.
make a lot lower.
Right. That means there's some that's making a lot less and there's some that's making a lot more. And I bet you that percentage of people that's making a lot more is not that many.
Well, until you are a principal or a lead on a show or a movie, you're not seeing... you have I read 2 co-star things, and you and me are still in the same income strata.
Really, if it weren't for... So I did well last year, but let me just put it in perspective. So I have girlfriends, shout out to all my ladies, who are, CEOs. They are C-suite type people. Or maybe not, just hitting on that glass ceiling, almost getting there. They make twice as much as I do.
For sure.
Now, the trade-off is I do what I love. And they may be too, but that's their passion. We're all pursuing our passions. but I do what I love, and I get, you can work or not work. But the reality is I probably work 60, 70 hours a week doing this. I could go to corporate America and work 40 hours a week.
We both have
and
done
have
that.
and,
Yes.
and may have to again. Like, there's no shame in that. There's nothing wrong with that. Because we don't get benefits. We don't get, unless you're making a certain amount with SAG. I think it's $26,000. We don't get benefits. We're not getting health care. We're not getting dental and vision. We're not getting life insurance. This is it.
Hey, we make trade-offs. Do what we love.
We do.
And I wouldn't take that back
at all.
Ever. I love doing what I love because I've done the other side, and I've owned a consulting firm that works with corporations and entities like cities and things like that. And I've owned this company for a really long time, and I have people that I know that I actually care about who have health issues just because they go to work.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
You go to work and maybe you're close to being able to retire. You want to put in a few more years so that your 401k has a certain amount in it, or this or that. You people are killing themselves for what they do every day.
Yeah.
And that's the definition of poison to me. What we do,
that's good.
To me, it's life giving. Like it gives me life.
It does. Every time I'm like, so this year has been a little challenging financially, and every time I think, oh, well, I'm just gonna go back to work, and then I like last night, when I wrapped that movie, there is nothing like it. When you crush a performance, when you are so immersed in it, it takes you a minute to get out of it. There's just something to it.
So my last question.
Yes.
We'll finish on this. So what we do, and usually what anybody does, you don't get to be successful unless you have people that support you.
Yeah.
Like a real good support group. Like who is supporting you? You don't have to give names if you don't want to, but like, where are you getting your support from?
You have to be intrinsically motivated. You got to support yourself.
Sure.
If you don't believe you can, no one else will.
First line of defense, right?
Yeah. I have a great family that loves me, that supports. I'm telling you, if I went to the opening of an envelope, they would be there. And they've always encouraged me to pursue my dreams and my passions. My girlfriends, iron sharpens iron. They are the best of the best at what they do. And they encourage and inspire me to be the best of the best of what I do. It's important to have your tribe.
Yes. And I know you have yours because your personality it's radiant and contagious.
Thank you.
And you don't, like, you can move to LA and your family doesn't approve and nobody's supporting you, and you really don't, you might have some friends, but you don't have like a real tribe, a real group that's supporting you. You might become successful. Who knows?
Yeah.
But if you do, it comes at a cost, and you're going to be bitter. You are the furthest thing from upset, bitter. You are just a happy person.
Well, yeah, because I'm... we got one life. I can tell you, I have done everything on earth I've wanted to do, for the most part. If I died, went outside and got hit by, God forbid, I could go to God and be like, thank you. I've had an amazing adventure. And I think there's two groups of people who go for it and people who do the safe thing. Everything I've done has been risky. I moved to New York with $300. Right. If you're not a risk taker, that's okay.
Right.
Work within your comfort zone, but I'm comfortable taking risks.
Ray, thank you so much.
Thank you, Scott.
I love this conversation. I want to do this again.
Okay, I would love to.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, thank you.
Thank you for having me. This is an awesome show.
Well, that's a wrap on today's conversation. I really love having these conversations. They give us all a glimpse into, other ways to approach situations, problems, and issues that come up. Together with the super producer, Cooper Collins, and my guest of the day, we hope that you'll be back with us for our next episode in 2 weeks. As for now, we out. Peace, y'all.